Hello, everyone. My name is Jordan, and welcome to the dorm. And so, this week's theory was psychoanalysis in film, with a emphasis on the movie that we watched, which was Rashomon, which tells the tale of a man undergoing a trial for a crime, where both the man and two other witnesses potentially involved in the crime tell their own version of the story, as well as the man that was killed himself. And this film questions reality and or how a person perceives their own reality, which is a point that Jean-Louis Baudry expressed in The Apparatus. And he does suggest that there has always been a desire for an internal desire in humans for what we now know today as cinema. And to go further into that, what he means is that he uh, implies that humans like to fabricate their reality into a pseudo reality, as it's human nature to do so. So it's human nature to tell stories. It's human nature to um, create images within your own mind. And one of the allegories that we talked about in class was Plato's allegory of the cave, which is found in his work, The Republic. And so, in that, it illustrates the difference between the world of appearances and the world of reality. So, it's very much the world that we want to live in, and then the world that we very much do live in. And so, with Plato's allegory of the cave, he imagines prisoners chained inside of a dark cave facing a blank wall. They've never seen the light of day in their life, and they know nothing of the outside world. However, their reality in itself is changed and questioned if, let's say, there is something such as a fire behind them, because then that fire itself would cast a shadow, and uh, whatever the prisoners that have never seen the light of day, they they are left to their own interpretation of what the figures of the shadows are. So, to them, it could be anything between like a deity or some sort of monster, since they have never known a world outside of which they live in. And so, the allegory is of the cave serves as a powerful metaphor for the human condition, the pursuit of knowledge, and the challenges of enlightenment. Um, and so this week's film theory was the element of psychoanalysis and how humans are naturally drawn to watching movies and performances. And uh, Brody demonstrates that humans have always wanted to create illusions, and the art of filmmaking is just one of many ways that we express that. So it's human nature to want to live inside our own heads or outwardly express our um, outwardly express our psyche. As also Freud mentioned about dreams, how um, our dreams can be made from our subconscious desires, wants, and needs. And sometimes that can affect our own perception of reality. Um, and so when cinema finally did come around, it was the opportunity for people to finally express those those pseudo psyche ideas on the big screen. And so some modern examples of this is probably one of my favorite ones, if I can um, have it relate to Brody and Plato's Cave, and that would be the movie The Matrix. And I feel like it's a great example of what is real and what isn't real. Um, so, for example, in the movie The Matrix, Neo and uh, Trinity live in this world where they are not fully aware that they are in a simulation until they are made aware that they are in a simulation, which then just questions the very reality of what they know to be true. And suddenly, they're living one day they're living their life one way, and then the next they are fighting these machines that have taken over humanity, unbeknownst to them. And so another example is Inception. Haven't seen it in a very long time, but it is another film where reality is bent, and that's something that Christopher Nolan does very well in his films. And I feel like those films very much tie into the pseudo reality, pseudo psyche aspect of this week's film theory, which is central to the human experience because humans often like to, it's natural to want to distort reality. And so that is my take on this week's film theory. Thanks for watching.